Birthday gifts all over the place here. It's your feel-good breakfast show. Jerry Lee Lewis was undoubtedly one of the greatest rock stars to ever grace the entertainment scene. And if you're a fan of his, good news, because Great Balls of Fire, the musical, is on at the Peter Terrine Theatre at Monte Casino. And it promises all the spectacle you would expect from this great icon. Tsulu went to catch up with the cast.
1, 2.
The stage at the Peter Terrine Theatre at Monte Casino has been ablaze over the past couple of weeks, with musical theatre sensation Jonathan Rocksmith leading a superbly talented cast and taking on the role of the legendary Jerry Lee Lewis in the musical Great Balls of Fire. Wesley, what is Great Balls of Fire all about?
Great Balls of Fire is a play with music. We call it The Tale of Jerry Lee Lewis. It's a little biographical piece that Jonathan Rocksmith and I wrote together in honor of Jerry Lee Lewis, one of the greatest rock and roll musicians of our time.
Well, the way is dark, the night is long. I don't care if I never get home.
So what makes this production a must-see is Jonathan Rocksmith. But what the audience get is they get the story of Jerry Lee Lewis, which a lot of people don't know. They mostly only know Great Balls of Fire and a whole lot of shaking. But you get the story of Jerry Lee Lewis, but you get Jonathan Rocksmith playing incredible piano, and he makes a really great Jerry.
The way is dark, the night is long. I don't care if I never get home. I'm away.
Jerry Lee Lewis is unlike anything I've ever played, and I deliberately say anything because he's a monster. You know, like he's this ball of energy and like unpredictable fun and naughtiness and then sadness, and then it's just it's crazy, because the more fun you have, the better it is for the audience, because that's what Jerry Lee Lewis is. You know, performing the music is one thing. Being him is something completely different, because you never know what you're going to get with him. And it's dangerous, and it's like an adrenaline, you know, extreme sport every night.
Jerry Lee Lewis was also one of the major contributing musicians to rock and roll music. A lot of people think that it's just Elvis Presley or just Johnny Cash, but you know, he was the, you know, we can call him, and you know, we can really call him the grandfather of rock and roll, because of how crazy he was at the piano and how relentless and rebellious he was, and that contribution to rock and roll music. And we've got a star-studded cast, fast-paced script, fantastic music, and a really, really beautiful story that I think will touch people. A story about acceptance, a story about growth, a story about love, and a story about family and religion, because he was incredibly religious.
Well, my yearning heart keeps saying you're not mine.
It's wonderful to have actors that are as good as these actors are. You need someone who can play the piano like Jerry Lee Lewis. We've got Jonathan Rocksmith who can play it like Jerry and then some, you know. So that was key. But we've got some good musos who are telling the story really well. And it's a colourful story. It's a well-constructed piece that Wesley Lauder and Jonathan put together.
Come on over, baby, a whole lot of shaking going on. I said, come on over, baby.
The character of Myra, she is Jerry Lee's second cousin and also his wife. She's sassy and she's young, obviously, and I think she challenges Jerry Lee a little bit, and that's why they ultimately fall in love with each other. Playing across from Jonathan, who's so amazing, it's nice and challenging to sort of try and match him and, yeah, portray that character who is a real person and put her across on stage. That's the best part.
You guys have been running for a couple of weeks now. How is the show being received?
It's so exciting to see that for the last couple of weeks while we've been running, that audiences jump to their feet and they dance in Act 1 and Act 2, because they feel it's necessary to do that. And I think rock and roll music allows you to be rebellious and stand on your feet and dance and have a good time.
I'll make you do until you break. It's called the Lewis Boogie in the Lewis way, Lord. I do my little boogie woogie concourse.
What would you say makes Great Balls of Fire a must-see?
It's the most fun that we've, as a cast, have had in a long time. And I think, you know, between fuel increases, between politics internationally, it's nice to just sit back and have a bit of fun again. I love it. I get to be behind the piano again and just play, and then I play with the audience, and they, you know, it's not theatre as you know it. It's theatre as we remember it was.
Whole lot of singing going on. Come on over, baby. We got chicken in the bone.
The best way to describe Great Balls of Fire is that it's an explosion of some good old rock and roll music and the celebration of an icon. Of course, not forgetting the electrifying energy that the cast members bring to the stage. This one is a definite must-see, but don't delay, as this show is only on until the 12th of August. So hurry up and get those tickets.